Hey guys, today I'm going to be doing hollow nails without gel polish and without a water base or top coat, water top coat. So, to start, I'm adding cuticle oil on all of my nails and pushing my cuticles back and then massaging it in. Then I'm using a cleanup brush dipped in acetone to clean up the mistakes from the last video. So first, I'm adding my favorite peel-off base coat, link in the description. Then I'm adding a shimmer black because my black does not work at all and it's old, very old. So next I'm adding Wet n Wild, and once that's dry I'm going to add on Holo powder with an eyeshadow applicator. I kept on dipping it in but nothing was getting onto it because I was dipping it so lightly because I didn't want to waste my Holo powder. So I buffed that onto my nail by rubbing back and forth, and immediately realized that impatient me was being impatient, and it started to wrinkle up the polish that was on my nail. I tried to flatten it out, but I added more powder to try and hide it. Didn't do much, I'd say. So I continued to buff, and then I stopped for a little bit, and then I continued to buff, yep. So I continued buffing, and then I really just wasn't getting any application, so I decided to use a silicone stick. So I dipped a silicone stick in the powder and tried to apply it onto my nails, and I was about to add it onto my middle finger, but then I decided, wait, I can't do that yet. So as I applied this, nothing happened. So I tried putting it on my middle finger. Didn't do much. So I continued to attempt to flatten out the wrinkles and apply more of the Holo powder, but it wasn't doing anything. So I decided to buff them out a little bit more, brush off the glitters, and then add one layer of Wet n Wild top coat again, so I can add a second layer of all my Holo powders, and maybe that will overlay the rest of the gaps. So then I did that. Once that was dry, I was still impatient again, but I went to the other fingers that I didn't do. So, I buffed it onto my pinky finger, and the pinky finger seemed to be the best application so far out of all of the nails, considering that there's only 2 nails done. So I continued to buff my pinky. Yep, just buffing my pinky. And buffing, and buffing, and buffing. Oh god. Then I decided to do the rest of the nails, and I was trying to... Oh, this is my favorite part. I was adding this stuff on, but for some reason I got mad, and hell broke loose. Send help. So to clean it up, I got a fan brush and I brushed it to the edge of my desk where I could safely dump it back into the container. But a lot of it was left behind. So then I decided these nails were not working out, so I peeled them off. Break free! Then I peeled off the rest of them, and I used a cotton ball dipped in acetone to clean up my fingers. And then I added the unt, and then I added the black, and then I added Simply Peel around my nails so I could just peel off most of the glitter. And I peeled off the second skin stuff off camera. So then I decided, okay, so that didn't work. What if I do a water-based top coat by just adding water to the top coat? I accidentally squeezed a bunch. So this is the left one I experimented with, and the right one is the one that it came with. So to test this, if you're wondering why there's already glitter on my middle finger, that's because my fingers had glitter on them and I touched it to make sure it was dry. And then I continued to buff on. I patted it in with my finger because I thought it would make a difference, and then I used a silicone tool, which didn't do anything. I guess I was just trying to flatten out the sides. So then, I did that to the rest of my nails, buffing, flattening, buffing, blah, 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 blah. So, then, I continued to buff. Oh, so much buffing, so boring. Buff. How about a little buffing song? Buff. Oh God, now I'm trying to use my finger. What am I doing? So I attempted to use my finger, of course, and that did not work out. So I continued using the eyeshadow applicator. Then I decided to do a second layer with my Wet n Wild by adding more of the powder on top of the Wet n Wild. So I added that onto all my fingers, waited for it to dry, and then used an eyeshadow applicator to add the rest of the Holo powder onto my nail. Then to seal it all in, I used Sèche Vite, and after that, it was done. Thank you so much for watching. Like and subscribe. See you later.